Okay, I'd like to help you out with Chapter 5. Chapter 5, the problems are getting a little more detailed, and you might still want to do a flow chart, although it will take you some time. They're getting more complicated. Or you could do pseudocode, or you could do both. Whichever you feel like you need practice in and feedback on from me. Okay, on this one here, I did a example problem. I made one up and made a flowchart for it, and probably took me a good hour and a half to put this flowchart together. So they are getting time consuming, so I leave that up to you. But either way, I'll work with you. Now, what I did was made up a problem where we have a church and they are trying to collect the monthly giving from the members and give them a report each month of where they stand against their pledge. So every year a member pledges how much they'll give in the year upcoming, and then they start to send in checks for the monthly amount, and the secretary will gather up those offerings and put out a report each month, send something to the members letting them know where they stand against their pledge, and also put in a total for the church in the church bulletin, so you can see how the church stands against meeting their budget for the year. So what I did was try to invent a program using some of the loops and everything we talk about in Chapter 5 to create a program that might be used to do something like that, to create those reports. So over on declarations, I have number equals total months, string name and a number of months, number month giving, number year pledge, string name prompt where I enter the member name or ZZZ to quit, number total giving, string giving prompt, and then string quit ZZZ, and then end prompt, which would just be end of program. So let's go through. First, I'm going to use modules. I'm going to have a housekeeping module. I'm going to have a loop where if the person is done using the program and they'll type in quit, they'll type in ZZZ is what they'll type in, and if it's equal to quit, then it'll drop out of the loop and they're going out of the program at that point. But as long as they're still in the program, they will put in a name of a member. And if the name is not equal to quit, then we'll go through the detailed loop. So let's look real quick at some of the loops, or the modules. The first module, the housekeeping module, will be real simple. It'll be an output name prompt, and then the user will input the name, and then it will return. As long as that name is not quit, it'll go to the detailed loop. So when we come to the detailed loop, what we'll do is I'll have an output where I ask enter the month. So I have the name. Now I'm going to get the month, and the month will be in the form of a number, so it would be like number 1 for January. So then we have the month. Is the month less than total months, which is 12, and is it greater than 0? So if it was a month that was over 12 months or less than 0, it would be unusable. There's an error of some kind, and I would just return. But as long as it's a month between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, which is basically what that's asking. If the answer is yes, then I'll give it the giving prompt. And in the giving prompt, I ask for this information, monthly giving and year pledge. Okay, then the first thing I'm going to do is take the year pledge and redefine it as year pledge minus monthly giving. So what that is if the secretary knows at the beginning of January that a member A has pledged $5,000 for the year, she will input that $5,000 at the beginning of January. And what we're doing here is, if the monthly check is say for $400, we're reducing the yearly pledge now by the $400. So year pledge will now be equal to year pledge minus the $400. So now it's $4,600. So next month, when she inputs year pledge, she'll input $4,600. Alright, and then on this one here, and I may have to magnify this one a bit, is I'm outputting now. I'm outputting the name, remaining pledge, which I calculated up here as year pledge, and this month, the monthly giving that she told me. I output the name prompt again and input the name, so I can keep going, give me another name, keep the loop going until she gives me the name of quit. Okay, and then the end of job module looks pretty straightforward. I put the end prompt out there and asking for, or saying thank you for using the program or whatever I set up here. Let's look at that real quick. End prompt was end of program. Okay, so what happens then is she puts in a name, puts in the year pledge, and then puts in the monthly giving for that month. And she's inputted the month there, number 1 for January, for example, and it'll go through and it'll calculate every single one. It'll keep going and going and going until all the names are done, and here it will output the name. So there will be a bunch of names showing up on her computer with their remaining pledge, which is the year pledge recalculated to take out the monthly giving, and then this month's monthly giving, and that would go to each member to give them a status of where they're at. Okay, now let's modify it a little bit. Suppose the church wanted, now she's got to do the bulletin every Sunday, and in the bulletin every Sunday where you look, they'll show you what the budget for the year is and how the giving is going compared to that budget. And to do that, we need to have an accumulator. Alright, so what I did was modify this program that I just showed you, and I added accum monthly giving equals 0. Alright, so where do I use the accumulator? Well, when I'm in this loop again, it's exactly like it was above, but I'm going to do a calculation. Accum monthly giving is going to be equal to accum monthly giving plus monthly giving. So every trip that she makes through, no matter who the member's name is, each time she inputs a new monthly giving amount, it's going to change the accum monthly giving and make it larger by that amount. This one would be only pertinent to the individual because it starts with the year pledge. So for the example I gave earlier, $5,000, if they gave $400, this becomes $4,600, and that's what would be printed out. There would be their name and all that would be printed out, but accum monthly giving would not be printed out yet. I haven't asked for that to be printed. Every single monthly number she gives is being added to this, so that when she's all done, I'm saying she because at our church it was a secretary as a she, when she's all done, she's going to end up with accum monthly giving for all the members all added together. Alright, so then over here I put the output accum monthly giving in the end of job. Okay, now you have to get the output of the accum monthly giving out of the loop, because in the loop you're continually adding. When she leaves the loop, and she will leave the loop when she says quit, she'll leave the loop, and then that accum monthly giving will be done for whatever number of entries of monthly giving she gave. For all the members added together, she now has a number of how much money was given in the month of January if she put in input month 1. Okay, so I just wanted to show you an example of how you use loops to make accumulations of information and to ask for more input. Okay, so if you have any questions on any of this, come to the forum or email me and we'll talk about it. Okay, thanks very much.